Hey guys, welcome to another episode of On the Bus podcast. On today's episode, I got my buddy Tal Oran. He's known as the Traveling Clat on Twitter, Periscope, and he has his own podcast, The Dodo Crossing. It's a big sit-around discussion with a few of his buddies about this, that, and the other. It's a really great podcast. I actually met Tal through Periscope. He was watching me and a buddy's make some keto brownies. It was disastrous keto brownies, let me say. And we ended up meeting up and connecting after that, and he's just another fellow traveler, and we really resonated on a lot of levels. The discussion we had was an amazing discussion. We talked about different travel hacks, talked about different experiences on the road, awareness, insights, spirituality, and psychedelics. So give it a listen, give it a ring, and let me give you an introduction to my buddy Tal Oran.
Okay.
Up live. How's it going?
Boom.
Tal, what's going on, man?
I'm good. How you doing? It looks like it froze. No, we're in it.
No,
all right.
It's just going slow, dude. This is a dinosaur of a computer.
It's all good.
Let it be.
We're officially in the podcast now.
We're back, dude.
That's it.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing great. How are you?
Long day, man. Been up since 9, training kids, training myself.
And you've been on quite the adventure, eh?
Oh yeah, it never stops. Just got back from Israel on Sunday.
I'm jealous.
Third time's a charm, man.
I'm jealous.
First 2 trips, iffy. Yeah. This one, much better though.
Killed it. You knocked it out of the park.
Hey, photos speak 1,000 words, man.
No, honestly, your Instagram made me so jealous.
Good Instagram.
I'm sitting at work in the stupid phone shop scrolling. See Jerusalem. I'm like, no, I want to be back. I miss that place. It's great.
When was the last time you were in Jerusalem?
I got back from Jerusalem probably like 2-3 months now.
And what was your favorite spot when you were there?
In Jerusalem?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they take you to the shuk, to the market, Machane Yehuda?
In the Jewish quarter, or outside the old town, but it's in the Jewish
it's outside of the
town.
old city.
It's by those mushrooms, those mushroom street posts.
Yes. Oh man,
yes.
Those used to trip us out at night. Like that would drive us crazy. We'd be walking back from the hotel room drunk, and you'd see these giant red mushrooms. Just like what?
I could imagine if they were actually windy and those things were waving.
Yeah.
It would look really cool. Did they ever inflate those?
Yeah, they used to. Cause why? They were like flat. They were draped
flat.
down. Yeah, there were some nights where they were draped down. Some nights they were up.
Erectile dysfunction mushrooms.
But essentially, at night, I don't know if they took you. Did you go out at night at the shuk?
Yeah, we did.
It just turns into a party. It's like all the closed stores close down, turn into bars and stuff.
And they keep it pretty casual, pretty safe.
Yeah.
As far as, people not hoarding the sidewalk, people
Definitely.
sticking to their tables. You got a path to move on.
Yeah.
That's where we went out. Our first night out on the birthright trip.
Really, at the
you
shuk?
only get 2 nights out, and you go out when they.
You got a curfew. You got to be behind.
Now I extend the curfew. The first nighters, mind you, this girl's younger than me, and she's telling me when to go home, when to go to sleep, when it's safe. Especially been to 5 continents, 35 countries. It's tough when you have someone younger who's less traveled.
I know the feeling.
Telling you it's not safe.
Yeah.
You can't do this. I know better than you. So when I knew it was close to the time, 12:45, I'd ordered everybody a round of shots. And I go to the guy next to me, like, Steven, like, yo, give her your card. Just say you ordered another shot. It's like, Jess, we're stuck. You got another round of shots. I'm not leaving my credit card here. You can wait with me. You can drink all these shots with me. Or you can wait for everybody. And everybody can enjoy these delicious tequila shots. There's no carbohydrates in them. It's going to make sure everybody's getting to the next day with no sugar buzz and no sugar rush.
I gotcha.
Even when we're drinking, we're taking the healthy choice.
Did you notice how expensive alcohol is in Israel? Because it's ridiculous. Is it not?
Actually wasn't that bad when I bought like those huge rounds of shots. Yeah.
Because it was constant, especially when we went around with like a group of Americans. Like we were Israeli, so we were able to speak Hebrew with the bartenders and stuff. But the other groups that we were with, that were all American kids. They were just constantly, the bartenders in Jerusalem, constantly trying to screw us over. Right. It was just like price them up like 50%, 100%. Just take their money as fast as you can.
I'd imagine it did happen. I guess I just got one of those faces.
Maybe.
Friendly. I'm really,
of course,
really
it's
good.
Jerusalem. I'm going to stay there. It's all good.
Really good bar ambiance. Everybody wishing them a good Shabbos tomorrow. Shabbat Shalom tomorrow, man. Hey, don't get up on the drinks, I need this and that. So it wasn't a problem there. Even in Tel Aviv, I remember one night I was pretty blacked out. And again, after a curfew, I was like, I'm going out.
Did they take you to a club in Tel Aviv?
No, they just took us to the bars around Jaffa.
Okay. Cool.
So it was fun, but we're all sitting around picnic tables. this one girl who got sacrificed to the troll gods on the trip.
Oh gosh.
She got sacrificed. Like, there was a fire. We threw her in. Like, everybody on the trip, like, she was that girl.
Oh man.
If she didn't know who Harambee was.
Do we have a name, or do we need to keep her? Give her a name. Give her a name that matches the troll.
The girl has no name.
Okay.
The girl has no name.
All right.
But I'll give you some stories. Like, one night we found some hash in Jerusalem. We're all having a smoke, and I got this whole Rule 63 thing. You've seen it on the business card. I know if I mentioned to you.
Rule 63?
Yeah, if you got to ask, you can't afford it.
Okay.
It's a bit of a paradox, indirect way of just stop talking. All right?
Yeah,
I don't want to explain to you. But this girl doesn't see the sarcasm. She doesn't see the depth of the phrase.
Oh man, she's one of those people.
She's one of those, and she's just like, "What do you mean? What do you mean I can't afford it?" It's just like, and I just keep saying it, and then eventually I'm like, "Okay, this is a simpleton. I'm gonna explain this to her. I feel like I don't think you're lying to me. I don't believe what you're telling me." I was like, so then it goes into the next topic. Next topic is Save the Dina. And I'm explaining about my bus trip. And first of all, I toyed with her for a little while. You know, she'd ask, "What's Dina? If you got to ask, you can't afford it." And then I explained it to her, and she's like, "I feel like you're hiding all these stuff from us. I feel like you're not telling me the truth. Dina is something you don't want the whole group to know." And I'm just like, mind you, we're in the group of friends right now. Side conversations are happening. There's some highs going around, but she continues, and everybody starts jumping in now. Like, no, this is the Dina. One of these kids on the trip actually offered to make a documentary about the trip as long as he can go on the trip. So I gotta, make sure he's cool with my friends, but I'd love for this kid to come. He's a really cool guy.
Sick.
I ended up traveling to Jerusalem and Haifa with him.
Okay, cool.
He's doing the Israel Trail.
That's what I did.
For a month. Oh, you did it?
I did that for a month, exactly.
How far did you make it down?
A month. I made it to Tel Aviv, from Helmond to Tel Aviv.
That's what he was looking to do.
I wanted to
Did
continue
you start in
going.
Dan?
Yeah, in Dan, in Kibbutz Dan. Oh my God, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm ringing some bells right now.
Yeah.
So back to this chick. And then Harambee came up. And it was like, okay, this will be a level ground, Everyone knows Harambee. And lo and behold, she goes,
no idea.
Who's Harambee?
Oh, man.
And then we had 2 IDF soldiers with us. The IDF soldiers get thrown into the birthright trip.
Right.
And this one kid, he was a character. His name's Jean. He's got a Russian background. So his Russian accent trumps the Israeli, but the Israeli gets blended in when he speaks English. So it's a cool accent. He's like, "You don't know Harambee? Harambee is a sweet prince. We've lost a fallen prince." And now he's jumping into the sarcasm. And then we start saying, hashtag dicks out for Harambee, hashtag tits out. And again, she's like, I don't believe you. Even when we explain it to her, it's this gorilla in the Cincinnati Zoo. It's like the biggest thing to happen to planet Earth.
Looking from the outside, though, I could kind of see why she doesn't. It sounds so ridiculous, but I could kind of understand if she's so oblivious to it, and you just hear about this gorilla being praised by the world.
I mean, I want to code her because, right, it does sound ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
It is. It totally is.
And then she doesn't get it, and it just keeps going. We kept smoking joints. I don't know where it went from in the night because it's like a blur. From all that happening and her not understanding to going back to the room and going to sleep. But then she goes to the trip coordinators the next day, and she throws us sexual harassment because of the dicks out and the tits out. And she thinks Harambee, any Dina mention, any phrase is all pointed to her now.
Oh, man.
So one of the chicks one night, we were doing some group fundraising event. I'm grabbing a business card out, if people can say. And they start berating us again because we were playing this a confession game on the bus. So it was an anonymous confession. I wrote on mine, I killed Harambee. Some kid wrote hashtag BWHD, what would Harambee do? And one kid goes, every time I hear what's so-and-so's voice, I want to kill myself. Those weren't read. However, after this group activity, the coordinators come after me and my buddy, and they pull this one kid. I didn't see how they pulled him, little orange hair, glasses, sweetheart of a kid, hilarious kid, but not synonymous with throwing this wit out there. They didn't know him yet for being this witty. And so they're asking me, I'm blitzed right now. I'd smoked a doobie before. I'm like, oh shit, they're coming after me.
How'd you guys get so much weed in Israel?
The IDF soldiers knew
Perfect.
Someone in Jerusalem had picked up a fair amount of hash.
Okay, that
and
makes
hash
more
is much
sense.
cheaper than weed out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're coming after us. And I said, listen, I wrote I killed Harambee. I'm sure you got the ticket on you. The other kid goes, I wrote, what would Harambee do? And the other guy goes, I guess he's never been in trouble. I thought these things were anonymous. He just completely purges himself. I'm like biting my finger over here, Brandon. Don't laugh. You're out. You're clear. And I just start going after him. Listen, you guys are fucking harassing me, all right? I can't even join my goddamn birthright trip. I'm here trying to get closer with God, trying to find my Jewish identity, and you guys are fucking berating me. What's your fucking problems? And like, Brandon, listen, chill out. You're being dramatic right now. Listen, I'm going to bed right now. I'm out of this. And so I also give the chick a business card, and she sees the whole Rule 63, and she turns it over. And read the back of the business card for the people.
If you gotta ask, you can't afford it.
She looks at me with just, I don't want to say dumb, but just like the stupidest smile, like, oh my God, you aren't joking. This is real. Like, was that a question?
Her whole world just fell apart there.
Crumbled. But she also knew, like, this girl's insane.
Yeah.
She's actually off the deep end. She eventually came over and apologized to me.
That's hilarious.
About the case. But I don't think you had any birthright stories like that.
No, man. My birthright trip was very calm. It was very relaxing. It was just...
Real quick, though. Keep this for yourself.
Sure.
Man. That's for
Thank you so much. I'm going to show it to people whenever I go around.
Any questions they have, direct them there.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, my birthday trip was okay. I'm hopefully going to be one of those staff members this summer. Hopefully going to be staffing a trip. That way I can get to Israel for free again. Should be nice. And
what about an internship? You ever thought about doing an internship?
With Birthright?
Even after Birthright. I mean, you can still go
back.
Oh,
one of those like post programs?
Yeah.
I have problems with structure, man. It's a real issue in my life.
Right there with you, man.
I just, whenever I get into a thing, I've been back home for like 2 months now.
I couldn't do a tour group, dude.
Yeah, I can't. I'm just, I get like, sometimes I need to be by myself for prolonged periods of times, like just doing my own thing, and then I need to be around people that I like. But if it's just structure, like if I sit down at a desk in a school or from an internship and I need to focus on something, I have issues with it. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to explain it. It's just...
No, it's very... You're talking to someone...
You feel me, you know
very relatable to. It was just like in my Say the Dina project. And I know as far as, for fundraising, sponsorship, mm-hmm. you need a structure. You need to say, like, we're going to visit this amount of countries or share this amount of ideas, get this amount of followers, bring this amount of people on the trip within a time frame, so mm-hmm. they know you're shooting for, it's a goal. They're not just throwing you money or just compensation. Yeah. So that's the thing I haven't developed for this trip. So, because for me, it's like, I want to travel for a living. This is my, thing. This is it. I'm going to go off on this.
Totally.
Sunset. I'll see you later. Now, I think Birthright needs more people like you, though. Or someone who can go on the tour. You speak Hebrew.
Definitely.
You're someone that's been there, but also, you're not going to be on someone's toes.
Oh, no. As a Birthright staffer, I think I would... Okay, well, first of all, my main issue is with somebody staffing a trip on Birthright. I know that a lot of them they're usually just Americans who just want to do the same thing that I'm trying to do, but they might not have as much knowledge about Israel as they should have, whether it be the political situation, whether it be geographical, history, anything. They're just kind of staffing the trip to staff the trip. Like, it's just kind of something they're doing. And that was at least the case in my trip. I don't know.
Did you go from 18 to 22 or 22 to 22?
I did from 18 to 22.
Okay. I would definitely say our two coordinators, they knew. Mm-hmm. They had a good knowledge. They had been to Israel before. Mm-hmm. One had spoken fluent Hebrew. The other didn't. But I understand it's, a lot of liability. You got a bunch of Americans coming over.
Yeah.
You got to be protective.
You got to know, too. You got to be able to feed them information that they can grow with. They could have
loosened up. Yeah, I felt like there was a bit of a disservice in regards to the talk of Arabs, Christians, and just other people in the area. He started first explaining about monotheism, and it started with the Jews, and then the Christians tried to do it, and it wasn't as good, and then the Muslims did it, and it still wasn't as good, and I'm like, come on, man, we have some fragile minds. Some people were just their first time leaving the country.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with how you're shifting and shaping people. And I mean, even like, listen, don't go to the Arab quarter. We're not going to the Arab quarter in Jerusalem.
Yeah, they did the same thing with us.
It's not safe.
Yeah.
Granted, there was 4 people shot there.
Yeah. No, but that really is a liability thing. I mean, I've been through the Arab quarter. I have friends who went through the Arab quarter. They even went to Al-Aqsa, to the mosque. And they were Jews.
I made it up there.
Yeah, I've never personally been. It's just, they'll never risk taking you guys in there, just in case. Just in case. You never know. All it takes is one crazy terrorist, and it's done. You have a kid stabbed on a birthright trip. and then bye birthright. You know, like they're never gonna take a risk with allowing you guys to go into the airport. That's just a liability thing. But I know what you mean. It's a hesitant because like you go in there and you're a bunch of Jews and you're sitting there and they're telling you no Arabs, no Christians, no. You stay just the Jewish. This is a Jewish trip. You're learning just about Judaism. It's a lot to take in, especially when you're.
But I mean, I don't think it was that much to take in. A lot of people on the trip didn't think there was that much to take in. From talking with the people, there was no one moved. You know, like you've heard some stories about people.
Really?
Israel, Judaism. That was. I don't think it was a factor. It's just because our trip, at least, we were so spread out in regards to doing something, getting our focus in a certain area. Like even when we were hiking Masada, when we were climbing that for the sunrise, I was like, I'm going to see at sunrise. This is an exercise opportunity. Like, I don't know when we're going to get some exercise today. Like, I'm getting my backpack. I'm sprinting up Masada. Especially we did not the Roman path.
The snake path?
The easier one to head up.
Oh, no, the Roman path is easier.
The Roman path is easier. So that's what we did. So it's like, oh, I'm going to hike up this one.
Yeah.
And even the snake path, I'm going to run down on my own. Like, you guys can see me. Like, don't worry.
And they said no?
No, they did. That was cool. But once we got to the top, and it was like, okay, I want to get a nice stretch, meditation, you know, I'm off my own. It was like, time for a lecture. And let's give these girls who've never had a bat mitzvah, let's give them a bat mitzvah.
The bat mitzvah, yeah.
I was like, can I just go right around the corner, you know, just where it's quiet?
Yeah.
I'll be fine. I'm a big boy. And it was a stretch. One time even, I went to the corner store outside of our hotel. I'm just drinking water, literally drinking the water. I was also spotting a buddy who was going to buy the bud, but he was off in the distance. I was just in the middle ground. And one of the coordinators was there, and he's like, Brandon, I need you to come back right now. I'm like, you can't be by yourself. I'm like, Yoav. This whole water bottle was about 2/3 of the way done. Let me finish the water, dude. As you can see, I've drank this entire thing after I bought it. I'm just staring off in the distance. I'm just quiet time away from everybody. And just badgering me. I need you to come with me now. Like, serious. You can stand here. I'm going to finish this water right here. I'm not going to move. I'm not a child. And literally escorted me back up. I was like, I feel like your ego and your morals just brought down. Like, holy shit, this is third grade all over again. Just like a woman teacher who has no idea what she's doing about yelling at a boy who's wild and crazy and rambunctious.
I know what you mean. It's not that. I mean, it's just I feel like a lot of it has to do with the liability thing. It's just they don't want to take a chance.
I have a hard time seeing that liability.
Yeah,
it's because I'm a very loose cannon.
Yeah, I know. It's hard for a lot of people to see. I did another organized trip to Israel this past summer, and it was kind of the same idea. You know, when the staff people would call us at like 1:00 in the morning, we'd be sitting at a bar, and we're like a good group of like 4 people. They'd call us up and they'd be like, "You guys need to get back to the hotel." It's not a sense of like we want to like teach you guys this that. It's because it's a there's a conflict going on in the zone. It's a dangerous area sometimes. You know, sometimes it's more dangerous than others, but they never want to take a risk just in case if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know where you are exactly.
I mean, waking up wasn't a problem. I was up at 6:00 every day on this trip. I mean, with one of the coordinators, she actually came, did some stretching and workouts with me.
Same thing with mine.
So, I mean,
we would do yoga in the morning. Did they take you to Mitzpeh Ramon? Did they do that with you?
You said it very, very, very Hebrew.
It's the crater, Mitzpeh Ramon.
What city would it be in? Or
near Arad it's like in the middle of the desert. Usually where you do the camel riding. No.
We did the camel riding in some Bedouin tent.
Masada, you enjoyed?
For the most part, yeah. I ran down the snake path.
Yeah,
that was fun. That was cool.
Great.
Well, we were off in the back, and we had a nice spliff right there too. So after spliff and running down, outdoors, dude, throwing girls over my shoulders, lifting them up. You can't beat that, man.
That's great.
Yeah. What about you? When are you traveling again?
I actually just today booked a ticket to this YouTube summit thing. Which is great. While you were gone, I got hired to be a photographer for a Jewish trip to Poland. And they're flying me out to Poland with them.
Dude.
And then I'm going to do that for 2 weeks.
Where's your photography photos? Or where'd you send them, like, some stills?
Oh, no. I used to be a freelance photographer, so I used to take pictures. I don't think I told you that.
Before we met.
Yeah. I used to do that for a few years.
There's a whole other side to you I don't know about.
That was my secret life. Hi, Tinkerbell. And so he just called me up and he was like, he's this rabbi that's organizing this trip, and he said, if you want to come, we're doing like a Holocaust trip to Poland. We're going to show them everything, and we need you to a photographer. It'll be free. And everything's paid for, so they're flying me out. And then from Poland, I'm hopefully going to catch a train, do a little Euro trip across, get to the UK somehow. I want to go from Poland to France.
How much time do you have for that?
Unlimited time. Well, I need to get from Poland to the UK in, I think, a week. I have a week to do that. So, and then after that, I'm free. So, that's what it's looking like for now.
You're just hacking the system again.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing I want to talk about. You are a big traveler.
Definitely.
I would say somewhat you have some travel hacking, some travel tips.
Yeah, sure.
Number one travel tip for people out there. Because a lot of people, when I talk to them, I tell them, they see all the traveling I do.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I did this trip for free or it was paid for. They're like, I don't believe you. And there's so many little hacks and secrets in the system.
Yeah,
what would be your best way? What's your number one?
That's it. Look. So for me, I don't know how it would work for most people, just for like the average Joe, because most of my trips that have been paid for because I was Jewish or because of my Jewish identity.
Okay.
So I don't I've never dealt with the credit card stuff like you did.
Okay.
But what would be my one travel hack? Man, it's probably like do your research before you go somewhere. Like
I was gonna say that.
Know where you are. That's important. You could be without a phone. You could be without internet. You could be without a map. Just know where you are. That's the most important thing. Like, know that if you're in Marrakesh, Morocco, you're in Marrakesh, Morocco. Know where the nearest hospital is. Know where the nearest thing. Like, do that research. That's something I fail to do a lot when I travel. And
likewise.
And it's gotten me into some retarded situations in the past.
How so? I
was in France once, in this little town. I took a ferry from the UK to France to this little town called Dieppe. And for like 3 hours, I got there at like 9 o'clock at night. It's freezing cold. And I'm trying to find a hotel, and I didn't do any of my research. My phone's dead, no internet, because I just crossed over to another country. And I'm just walking around, and I'm looking for like 5 hours for a hotel until I found this one little motel that charged me up the ass to get in. And it's this shitty little motel with cockroaches and stuff, and it was just like, I don't know. It's one of those times that if I would have done a little bit of research before I went, I would have been all right. I would have known what.
I've only missed one bus while traveling, and. No, I mean, for me, like you said, we're a little bit different on the travel spectrum.
Of course, yeah.
I can walk up to a stranger, stay in their house, just.
Oh no, I'd love to do that. I just the French barrier. There was it was a little hard because a lot of people in that town.
The French are a bit stagnant too.
Yeah, Europeans specifically, the way I look, it's not. I'm not a very inviting. I don't have the most.
You're a bit much more browner skin.
Yeah, it's a little hard.
They're not on the side of brown skinned people at the moment.
Yeah, no one is really in the world. It's a little hard,
I mean. I'm a fan of the brown people. I mean, brown women especially.
I love the brown people. I am the brown people. But it's, sometimes an issue because I think I definitely look more intimidating than I actually am. Like, once they talk to me for 5 seconds, they realize I'm just like this jolly little chubby man just walking around trying to explore the world.
I realize you seem like a person, too. Out there smiling, happy-go-lucky. But you smile at people sometimes. It's not a negative thing, but they're just like, why is this person so happy? Why are they so friendly? Even like the Uber driving I'll do, this one dude jumps in and it was just like, hey man, what's going on? Waits till I got in the car. I'm like, how you doing today, man? He's like, how you doing? He took his headphones off. I'm good, man. I'm good. Like, thanks. So you're the nicest guy I've ever got an Uber driver.
That's all it takes, man, is showing a little bit of enthusiasm in someone, and they'll be on your good side. Because I feel like here, especially down where we live, people here are so in their own bubble. If you say especially in the town I live in, Aventura, which is closer to Miami, if you walk up to somebody and you just say hello, they're like, why the hell are you talking to me? Who are you? I don't know you. You're taking up my time. I don't need to talk to you. It's just like everyone's in their own little bubble and nobody wants to break out of it. It's
an interesting thing to talk about that. Radiolab did a story about it in regards to of how fast they're in closer to a city, and there's more work efficiency, more work getting done, and compared to someone who lives out in a more rural area. They also talk slower. Yeah. You talk faster when you're in a city, and there's just less time that people want to waste actually getting to know somebody. They also say, oh God, down in the South in these more rural places, everybody's so friendly. Everybody's so much nicer. They want to get to know me. Let's sit down, mañana, tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So people do gain more appreciation. I can't imagine that. I only go there for work, but
big city life.
You live there.
Can't stand that city, man. I honestly can't stand that city. I can't stand Miami. I like this area a little more, like the Hollywood, Dania Beach, because people are a little bit more relaxed.
Well, what about in the Wynwood area, in a little more artsy districts? No,
can't stand it. I mean, I've been I hate Miami, the whole Miami life. I don't like it. I'm very, and I spoke about that on my podcast before.
I think I heard that.
Yeah, we just shit on Miami in like every episode.
I mean, granted, I actually had one good occasion. Because, I mean, if you're going to a nightclub, my whole thing about going to nightclubs, my buddies they're going around chasing tail. And it's like, listen, I don't want to be in there. Hey! A nephew's sleeping. Hey, how's it going? Where are you from? And it's like, all right, now I'm not here enjoying the music. I'm not here, flirting with some girl with my eyes or my dancing. Like, it just ruins everything. Let me just enjoy myself. I'm going to meet somebody at a bar or something cool. I'm going to meet someone a lot more personable and a better experience.
Definitely.
So they say in Superbad, go meet your wife at a pumpkin patch. Don't meet her at a bar. She actually ended up being a whore. Not the place you want to meet somebody.
Yeah.
Politics.
Politics.
Did you see what happened? In regards to the 9/11 families.
I did not know.
They both 9/11 families have been trying to sue the Saudi government.
Oh, I just saw that, and it just went through.
It went through.
Yeah.
Congress and the Senate passed it. The president had the power to veto. It wasn't really a veto power, but he said he didn't want it to go through. But if the Senate and the Congress and majority of Senate still wanted to push it through. And the interesting thing, what it does, it takes away all immunity away from any government if we allow them to sue. Because there's always have to have immunity with governments in regards to any, war, especially wishy-washy stuff that we do all over the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to look at Vietnam. Vietnamese families now could technically go and sue American families for, any loss or anything. There was actually a really cool quote. Hearing an American politician say it, I was just like, oh my God. Does he know what the books he's going to open up with this? The cobwebs and the destruction? Let me get it out right here. Let's see if I have a name. Senator John Cornyn. How can anyone look at these families in the eye and tell them they shouldn't have the opportunity to seek justice against a foreign government who are responsible in the death of their loved ones? And I'm like, how many Iraqi families now have the power and the side and the stance to say that to you?
Yeah.
Or to our president or a Yemenis family who's been hit by a drone strike.
Definitely.
Or, I mean, any other place that we've had some, sway or thrown any weapons or destruction towards. Like, it's a little dangerous now. And it's really shaky about what people can do and how they're going to come after us.
Yeah. And
we see that with anything right now, with us not having the strong stance. What do you want to say, militarily? We still do. I mean, we just throw so much more money at it than anybody else.
Yeah.
But in regards to the way education and knowledge and information can be spread throughout the world, okay, you look at that with the basketball. When I do basketball, is gaining its power as a global sport. What is it? In 2008, I think, Argentina beat the United States for the gold medal, whether it was in the World Games or the Olympics. And, we have the power to send people all over the world and spread this information, knowledge. It's because of not just the internet, but our ability to travel and transport any which way we want to. So now, I was teaching kids in Kuwait. Hopefully, I aspired some kid in Kuwait to be that nuts about basketball the way I was, and to make it somewhere. Now, just 30 years ago in Kuwait wasn't an option. It wasn't an option at all. Now we're talking about militarily, information, politics, just the right and wrong ways in order to do something.
Yeah.
Everybody has that power now. Everybody has that information.
It's so true. Do you think a government or people from a foreign country would ever actually take action like that and sue the United States?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the fact that they can. I mean, granted, I imagine to be a huge class action.
Yeah.
I mean, unless one individual can make the claim and has the money and time.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
To spend on it.
Logistically, it'd be really difficult to put together.
But I mean, Obama was against it. Secretary of State was against it. For those reasons. Like, I don't think you understand the box that could possibly.
Yeah, definitely. Could have. Any country that we've ever been involved in, at least negatively, that can.
Look at Chile, with us backing Pinochet.
Yeah.
When I was in Chile and just seeing basically it wasn't a Holocaust, no near a Holocaust, but a genocide against people that were against Pinochet, like the amount of killings, and just you see the helicopters carrying these huge crates out to the ocean because they were dumping bodies, like, oh man, that's crazy. Ocean. Yeah, dude, that museum, like, been to a bunch of Holocaust museums. I've been to the camps in outside Krakow, Dachau, and Auschwitz, and it wasn't as moving as there was a lot more visual and voice recordings of people, and like shot, like dug up tents that they had. Like, there's a lot less destroyed evidence. I know there's a lot of evidence destroyed for the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Especially, once the Russians are making their push to Berlin.
Yeah, they try to cover up a lot of that, and a lot of it got destroyed too.
So much got destroyed. Yeah. It actually goes into this one question I've asked the tour guide in Auschwitz. I asked the guy in the Yad Vashem Museum in Jerusalem, and it was a thing one of my teachers in college was doing. I was a history major, and they were talking about the Holocaust, and that was their focus, and that was the class's focus. And because there's paper they found or document that said Adolf Hitler ordered the cremation, the burning, or the shooting of all these Jews on this date and this time, was there actual, what was it called? There was a final solution, but was there actual order to put it out? Or is it an example of a huge bureaucracy just gone awry?
Yeah.
Without having the ability to, put an order in here or have control of what someone's trying to do on the ground during wartime. And we're just trying to think, as human being, what's the best way to kill this many people this fast?
They just derived all these ideas and derived it was them getting inspired from one leader who had this vile hatred of this one person or this type of people, and then they just let their imagination go wild. What if we try this? And experimentation. How can we take out these people as fast and as efficiently as possible?
And again, the communication technology is not there, to have a camera recording what's going on at this place and this time. You're like, no, I don't like what he's doing. Let's cut him off over there. I don't want him killing these people anymore. He wasn't flying from camp to camp.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. He was given orders from moving,
Yeah, and so I really think it was something like that, or something in the bureaucracy that just people going off doing their own thing.
100%
not away from what his general idea was.
Yeah, you can't always say Hitler did this. Hitler did. I mean, he was a great part of it. He was the one who inspired all these feelings through these people. But I mean, it comes from all the great generals they had that decided to come up with all these ideas. The people who were in charge of the Nazi camps, and people who were in charge of the concentration camps, and people who were held great positions in the Nazi party. That's what eventually ended up happening. It's just ideas coming to life, basically.
And it's a radio lab thing, and an experiment they've done with people in a mob. Like, people will go in and do crazy things. They'll smash up buildings. So there's riots,
and stuff.
Yeah, people, I was just going with it. It was the thing, and it's hard to look at that thing. You look at a negative aspect, but is that just who we are as these monkeys?
That's true.
Or just have a greater awareness of who they are, not what they're doing, but just a greater awareness of I'm on planet Earth. I'm a human being. This is me. I have a name, Brandon, that was given to me. It's a whole persona made up. But once we get going, we lose control. And then with the Radio Lab, there's another one. Radio Lab. It's the best. Do you listen to it?
No, I've never listened.
Dude, it's a very, very well produced show. If you don't like overproduction, you might not be a fan, but the stuff they cover, it's incredible. For this one, they did the research on when they have one person in a room and one person on one side of the room, and there's a black thing. They can't see him. They think there's a person. The person's not actually there, but they say they are wired up to 40 volts of electricity. And we need a certain amount of information from them. And if we ask you to do it, would you do it? And if you want to do it, we need you to do it.
I think I've heard of this.
And the person would zap them.
Yeah.
And even though I thought it was going to save someone's life, or was the thing I wanted people to do.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's, Holocaust, where they're charging people, for doing this. Is it just the idea of nationalism? It's the idea of protecting.
Oh, of course. It was the idea of protecting the German identity or the Aryan.
These people, we're so programmed to hate.
Yeah.
And it comes down to education and lack of knowledge about who someone is.
Yeah.
Because, again, not getting to know somebody.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. It's not like the people in charge of the concentration camps got a chance to interview all the Jews that were coming in. They didn't, get to know little Sally or little Ann or whoever was coming to the Holocaust camps. All they knew was you have to exterminate these people. They aren't even people to us. They're just a monster that you got to take them out.
And you see them less as
and
people.
That'll help you. That's a good thing to do. And that positive reinforcement for killing more and more, that just inspired more to continue doing it,
And I see that even with the internet, it's something that's happening a lot. With people avoiding conversation, avoiding debate, the trigger warnings, the safe spaces. It's okay, yes, words, actions, experiences can have an effect on you.
Yeah.
And everyone understands. Yes, there are some people who don't, but a good majority understand, that if you talk to them and communicate with them, You know, because I can't read minds. I don't know what you're saying. Right? You could be saying, Brandon, I fucking hate you. I want to go home right now. You fucking piece of shit.
You dragged me out here. You made me wait.
And we're having a terrible conversation right now. You could be saying that, but I won't know and say, Tal, you looking all right, man? Like, everything okay? Yeah. And unless you're going to feed back and relay to me or you're worried about hurting my feelings, we won't know. So until that bridge can be buried and people aren't saying, like, listen, I don't like when you're saying, or like, listen, oof.
Yeah, it's hard to accept another person's opinion. You just be like, wait, my opinion might not be the same with his opinion. Like, somebody else has something that goes against what I believe in. Of course, it's a terrible thing to have to accept. It's so hard. But once you do, it's great. Because the second you can start looking at other people's perspectives of everything, you can definitely agree with that, right? Like, when you listen to somebody else's perspective or other people, and the fact that you've traveled and heard other people's perspectives on the world and what's going on, I mean, it's the greatest experience in the world to be able to channel that and understand what other people are saying. Like, just be able to take it in, respect it, listen to it, and be like, all right, I have this one set of beliefs, or I have this one set of ideas that I go throughout my life doing or believing or whatever I'm doing with them. And there's another person doing something completely different, and we can coexist in the same place. And there shouldn't be any reason for conflict between that.
Absolutely. It goes to our experience, though. You know, us being able to go out in the world.
Yeah.
And I even experience it right now. You know, I'm like coaching a 4th grade team, or when I'm doing some personal training for somebody and trying to just garner in. I don't know where this person's coming from today. They might have had the worst day ever. And I'm in here, I'm getting in their ass, and I am just maybe using some vulgar language and demoralizing them because I think they're dogging it, they're slacking.
Yeah. But
I got to be able to pick up on that, you know, and again, ask them and know, is everything cool today, man? You know, They could have had a relative die, and I'm over here being even more of an asshole.
Yeah.
You know, I can be an asshole, but I got to know where it's coming from, and I got to know where to send it in. And that it also comes down to, in my opinion, is psychedelics, or, you know, something where you're going off, or just being on your own, isolation, away from people, and just having that ego reducing. I can't help thank those things enough for the help they've given me in regards to, you know, awareness. Because it comes down to being able to pick up on someone doing this or doing that, and not just picking up and saying, okay, I know now, but being able to say, I want to go communicate with this person and try and figure out what's wrong. Because I've ingested, you know, several different psychedelics. I'll be there and it's like, oh man, I'm sitting there, you know, and I'm thinking about something that happened, and like, oh my God, I was the biggest asshole. Like, and it even gets me going to say, the next day, like, I'll call that person up and say, hey man, this thing might have happened a year ago, 10 years ago, some situation, like, I don't know if you even remember it, but like, I was such a dick then, you know, and it's something to even laugh about, not to even like have a weight on your chest or a weight over your head, like, this is something terrible, it's a fucking dickhead.
It's the best feeling to clear that out.
It is. You can see me right now, man. I'm just as joyous and giddy as possible laughing about something like that. Those things, granted, they are not for everybody. Please.
I know people who are completely uncomfortable. I experienced something like that while I was on the cargo ship, and I guess I've gotten to this point in my life now where I have started getting like a high on life. In certain situations, it's almost like being on drugs. Like, you can't explain it; it just happens, and it just makes you make these decisions, these weird decisions that don't really make sense in the moment. But so I was on the cargo ship, and I was in the middle of the Mediterranean, looking out at like the coast of Italy or Spain. And all of a sudden, I just like started getting all emotional, and these feelings started rushing through my head. I literally WhatsApp messaged like 15 people on my phone, letting them know, I was like, I need you to know that I love you and you are important to my life. And there was one friend that I haven't been talking to for like 2 years. Of course, no problem.
For those guests out there, again, I'm being appropriate.
And I hadn't talked to him for like 2 years, and because we had a little falling out or something, and it just that inspired me to just send him a message and look, we need to talk about this. I want to be able to talk about this. I know it's not relevant to your life anymore. It's been years since, and lo and behold, I'm back, and now we're closer than ever. You know, we're talking, and that's just,
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, as long as you open up and you listen to people and you listen to other opinions, and you're able to project that onto other people, there's nothing better in this world. That's what the world needs.
No, I think it's again pushing your limits and boundaries. You've gotten to a point where you're like, you know, is this really worth it? Not being able to connect with this person I really used to enjoy connecting with.
For sure.
And you're just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put everything aside, you know, all the bullshit that's going on in my head or what this person might think. Because that person could still say, could message you back, fuck you.
Yeah,
man.
fuck off.
Fuck you, Tal.
I haven't talked to
You're
me
a
in 2
fucking
years.
piece of shit, dude. Took you 2 years to message me. Hey, you on a cargo ship? Jump off, dude. Just jump. That could happen, right? For me, it was doing the king psychedelic of psychedelic, where it was like doing ayahuasca in the middle of the rainforest.
Oh shit, you did ayahuasca?
In the middle, on the border of Peru, Brazil, like with 3 buddies.
In the jungle?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
In a hut with Doc Shakalu, the shaman. Like,
dude, I'm terrified of that shit. I've never even thought about it.
But doing that one, man, it was. I did prep for it for like 6 months in regards to like, you know, what's going on in my life, what's happening, what I like that's happening, what I think I want to change, what I want to do differently. So I mean, I've been writing this stuff down, reading it and studying it, and then when we're down there, we're in this hut, we're in the middle of the rainforest, and it's about to happen. They shut the generator off, and there's a funny story with it. I got 3 buddies there, and 2 of them have done some traveling, but not like this. I've gotten them to the rainforest, and they're really into psychedelics, spirituality, exploring themselves to get a better understanding of people around them. And one of the kids, he had done it before, and he was telling us about his experience and what happened. As they shut the generator off, and the shaman's about to start the ceremony, he gets up in a panic. Oh my god, I can't do this. It's too much. I'm out of here. And sprints out of the tent. Now, I dragged my 3 friends down there, and they look over at me, and they're just like bug-eyed, like, Brandon,
what are you doing?
Where'd you bring us? What's gonna happen? Like, they're so nervous. I'm like, guys, Hakuna Matata, man. We're going in. Like, mind you, I'm nervous as shit. I got hair standing up my arm.
Yeah.
They pass you just like, you know, this shot glass or this cup, and you're getting this deep spiritual thing. You're there, and you got someone translating what everything he's saying. You have to talk to the drink, ask the drink what you want. And like, I remember being like really misty-eyed before this thing. Like, here we go. Like, some people have, you know, died. We could have got a bad review and bad rep on this person who's doing it.
Right.
And it was no looking back. But after doing it, I saw everything I had written out, that I had meditated on, that I wanted to see and wanted to experience.
Was it more than like just shrooms or LSD or something like that?
Definitely more. Yeah. I feel with those things, you're a lot of more of a interaction with nature than this reality. With this, it's eyes closed, you on the ground, and I don't know where you go, dude, but I mean, I can do. I met the speed of light on the last night of this.
You met the speed of light?
I met the speed of light. Which is also, I was on five servings of this. I asked if I could do a little more, so I really pushed it to the brink. The shaman actually messed up on the second night. He the Copa America was going on. He went to a village that had satellite TV. These villages have satellite TV now. It's a beautiful thing. And he had a few brews. Let's say this. And so he calls the ceremony off after we just take one serving the night, only an hour in. I didn't really have an effect after that. And it began to come down to this communication thing. It was like a perfect life lesson. I wasn't pissed off that this thing happened in the end. First, though, the next day at breakfast, we had a bunch of people living in the village from Spain, a few from America. And I'm over there being grumpy. I'm getting away from the ayahuasca diet. I'm eating some pancakes with this butter. I'm like, Brandon, like, you okay, man? Like, is everything cool? I'm like, yeah, I'm mad. I'm in my own world, my own head. And I'm like, shit, dude, you're just being like a fucking child. Like, throwing temper tantrums.
Yeah.
Like, go over to this shaman, get a translator, and talk and figure out what happened, what went on, what can we do, because this is the last night you can do it. We did 3 ceremonies in 3 days, by the way. So, back to back to back. And
that's insane.
Now that you mention it, and I went over there. I brought the chick who could speak. I don't know what the native language was, and we talked it out. We talked it through, and he apologized. And I was gonna make a whole new special batch for the night, and he's gonna take care of it, and it's gonna be something you won't forget. And so for this one, we'll start walking over to the normal hut we were doing it in. And this one had bug nets, and it had a mat laid down. No, so we're going over here. And I think everybody else was gone. Yeah, they were all gone. They had all left to go back to Iquitos. So we go at the end. One of the guys who was living and working at the village at the time, he came and joined us. He was from Denmark. Really cool kid. was his name? Shout out to. Fuck! I'm gonna give him a shout out. I don't remember his name. Morton. Morton. Dude. Morton's the man, dude. He's still living down there. I think he might be getting married to some local chick in Colombia.
Holy crap!
Yeah, he's crushing it. So he takes us to this last hut. There's no bug nets. It's just me and my 3 buddies and Morton and the shaman. So Morton spoke the best Spanish and could break down from his Spanish, which wasn't that good either. And we get the ceremony going, and he's like, "Listen, any more that you want, just take from the big bottle." Especially for me, that was like perfect. So I ended up doing like 5 servings throughout the night, and he was chanting and singing and dancing even more. And that music that he does, the humming, the whistling, the brush shaking, like it really is like every time he changes a song or goes to a new one, your trip changes.
Puts you in like a trance.
It changes your trip though. When he stops and does a new one, it's like new vision,
that's crazy.
New place, and. Dude, a thunderstorm rolls in. We have no bug nets up. I could hear little squeaky sounds. Probably a rat or a bat.
Yeah.
I'm also in my own world, and I'm hearing this, and I'm like getting up, and then I'm seeing like fireworks flashing. I'm like, that's lightning now. And I look over, like get up from a lay down stance on my mat, and I'm looking over. I'm like, Doc, are we good, man? Is everything okay? And he's just Rudy John, shaking and chanting. I'm like. If this guy says we're good, we're good. I'm going back in right now. And incredible experience, man. Even the vomit. I mean, no one shit their pants or had any discharge from there. It was mostly vomiting. It was more of a spiritual thing, like thing talking to you, like some spirit inside you, Brandon. It's time. It's ready to let this go. Get the bucket. The bucket was green. Some green vine like just coming out of me and extending it as vomit and like let it go, man. This is your ego just getting out of you, like, and it's beyond you. It's out of you. This is a fresh start to whatever it is.
And you feel way better after?
A million times better.
Yeah.
I mean, for me also, I mean, I drink some pretty out there vegetable juices. Like,
yeah, that's true.
and turmeric. So I think I had some training for this. A lot of my buddies couldn't even put it down. It's a thick brew, man.
Really?
It is the most earthy, green. Ooh. Throw some vinegar tasting in there, like. Ugh. No, it's tough for people. My buddies had a hard time putting 1 cup down sometimes.
That's crazy. I've heard stories about ayahuasca, and I even when I was in college for the brief time that I was in college.
In Hawaii?
No, in Broward College. I never ended up going to Hawaii. And then it was just like we had this whole conversation about ayahuasca and how it could be used as a tool to change perspectives on people and really open people up who have a hard time. And
this was like from some kid at school, or like you.
This was in an anthropology class.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was good.
We had the coolest professor in the world. She was a primatologist. She was the coolest thing ever. And yeah, I mean, I've just personally, like, I have friends who do psychedelics all the time, but for me, I don't think I'd ever be able to get into that zone where I'm relaxed enough and I wouldn't be paranoid enough to, like, do something like that. It's just, I don't know. It seems like a really scary, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
It is.
You gotta, like, face yourself when you're in there, right?
I mean, the first hour of my trip, I'm open to discussing these things.
Yeah.
It was like a relationship thing. Like, okay, I don't date that many girls. It's just like 10 minutes. Okay, we're good. I don't want to see you again. I'm out and about. I love doing my own thing, being independent. And I'm in relationships. Is this just, am I meant to just be on my own, just slaying whenever I want to, and just being Brandon? This is a place where I can be more productive and out there. And then the first hour of my trip, I was crying. Like, a lot of us had these visions where we were in tears, like just seeing something. And for me, it was like mom and dad just not having a strong, loving relationship, I'd say, with them. And just, and I think all of us have this problem. It's just not being able to just let go of, being around that goofy parent, or them being out there being ridiculous, saying something, doing something. You get agitated a lot quicker when it's someone you've known for a lot longer. Yeah. And you could say, what the fuck are you doing? Like, come on, stop. Instead of just appreciating this person's not going to be there forever. And this person's going to die someday. And you're going to die someday too. It could be before them. And just not appreciating that moment and being present and knowing that, all those outlying factors are there and they're going to happen. It was amazing. It was like I just felt something like having, like, I had a kid, and if they ever said, just fuck you, you're being so fucking dumb right now. You're being stupid. Mom, stop. Or dad, what the fuck's wrong with you? I just felt pain like that. Oh man, if I ever saying something like that. And I never had a relationship. My dad at one point we weren't talking when we were in high school, but my mom was like, I was like, it's so meaningless. It's pointless. Or instigating my sisters and poking fun at them. It's like, it's not worth it. And it was like, I was like, after that trip, I was doing like 7 more weeks in South America after. But I was like, fuck, I cannot wait to just get back home and give my mom, dad, sisters the biggest hug possible. And then after that first hour, the trip is the first night. I said, Doc, pass that bottle over. That was some good stuff. Let me take some more. And I kicked back some more.
That's fantastic.
It's not a thing I'd want to recommend everybody.
Yeah.
Again, like mushrooms, this stuff can lead to the onsets of schizophrenia for some people. Mm-hmm. It can open some doors to them seeing something. Yeah. And again, I had a buddy on the trip too. Like after his last night, like he shut down from everybody. Even the next day, he was like really wanted to be on his own. He really hated what he saw. Mm-hmm. I think he saw something, and I was trying to try and direct him towards, a different side of what he saw. Like, this isn't for you to hate yourself. You are you. You are this person. Don't be mad at that. The things you saw in you are the things you hate. The things that you hate about what you do. Don't do those things anymore. Or put a real big focus on your life on those things. Change those things because you don't like him. It brought you to tears and this much hatred. I mean, he was chopping some trees with machetes the next day in the rainforest. Oh shit! And we actually had this new person come in and live in the village, and you could see he was more of the soft-spoken type. We'll say that. And I could see him on the verge of tears, like this guy's just destroying the trees. Like, no. I'm laughing about it because I know my buddy's off in his own world right now. And he needs some time to let some stuff out. Yeah. But again, we didn't have your typical shaman either. Where we're sitting down and discussing, what we saw, what we experienced. We were doing that on our own. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, I actually gave him some Arab prayer beads that this one mother in Kuwait gave me, mm-hmm. and she was a spiritual connotation to them. I gave them to him at that time. I was like, hey man, you keep these whenever you're in a place, you don't like something, you're thinking something, hang on to the beads, hold them, meditate on them. It's something for you to connect with, to resonate with. To find yourself, to find yourself if you're doing something you don't like what you're doing.
That's just being human, right? That's like raw human.
Yeah, it's again just being aware. Like I've been there. I'm doing something I can't stand. Yeah,
that's great.
Again, viewer discretion. Do not do that at home. Do not do that on your own. But at the same time, I'm not going to stop you.
And this is why I say Brandon should be vlogging. Imagine if you had a camera with you. I mean, it could take away a little from it, but oh man, people need to see your life. People need you owe it to the world.
I'm getting better at a writer. I can talk, I can spew some stuff out there, share some stories, but it's putting it on paper. Like a few of my posts I put out there. This girl I told you made a great note about him. Yeah. Just the person who you are. We're talking. I met you on Bumble. Like I think you're an incredible person. I really want to hang out with you so much more. Mm-hmm. Go out with you. And it's like you still got to find a way to relay that on paper. Because I want to tell travel stories. I want to share my story in Israel. What I did. Not go into too much detail, but also talk about my perspective on the things that we said, things we experienced and talked about. I mean, that was one thing we went over with. I had gotten into a debate with the head tour guide because when he took us up to the Golan Heights, and you're literally the Syrian borders, a few hundred meters away. Yeah. And he's talking, and he's pointing out, a pro-Israel thing. Look at all the strong vegetation on this side. That's because we put our money towards this and that, and making sure, that we have this the drip system. It's a really strong irrigation system. Yeah. That's something. It was Ben Gurion, the original first prime minister of Israel, really wanted to see the desert bloom. That was his message. So, again, I don't want to take away from anything Israel's done because it is an incredible thing.
It really is.
Fantastic. Really some amazing ingenuity, the Israeli people, Arab and Israeli, that they've done. And I asked him, well, what about all the funding you guys get from defense, from the U.S.? Wouldn't $3.8 billion a year is something you can set aside for some other things? Yeah, I'm not saying that it wasn't or wasn't. Isn't that something I can say? No, not at all. No. They just their government doesn't put enough money towards it. And again, they have Bashar al-Assad. He has taken a lot of money and set of money aside.
Yeah.
And not really helped his people. Granted, they are in a civil war right now, aren't they? He's like, no, that doesn't have to do with it.
I mean, I know we definitely have two very different opinions on this matter. Just because, I mean, I have like a emotional tie to the country and to the area and to the land and stuff because I live there and because all of my family lives there, and so I know it'd be like it's probably more extreme for you to hear from my perspective, but like I very much hold the same perspective that birthright staff probably holds, the same thing. Just because, you know, when I look at the area around us, I see obviously people that are being oppressed, obviously people that are being, you know, just war torn, and it's not their choice. They're put in that situation, but at the same time, it's like, how much can you do as a country? Especially when you try to help these people out. I mean, you could see reports. I have friends who work at the Golan Heights as soldiers. They go in, they save Syrians, bring them back
to the hospital, yeah, here.
Bring them to the hospital, and they're in the hospital. They'll videotape them saying, fuck Israel, Israel needs to be destroyed. They're sitting in an Israeli hospital. Obviously not trying to paint the brush on all Syrians. There's people who appreciate it and love it and come. There's a Syrian mother who was saved not a while ago in Israel, and she only says she loves Israel. But when she gets back to Syria, what? She can't be a Zionist. She can't be, I love Israel. They'll kill her. They'll kill her on the spot for loving Israel. Mm-hmm. You know, it's situation in the area is so the hatred there is so vile from both sides. Sometimes, you know, it's not from the Jewish side and from the Arab side.
One of the IDF soldiers, like he's shocked. I mean, I think everybody on our trip was for a two-state solution.
Yeah.
But what I could
to put that in, I am not at all.
Really?
No chance.
Well, get on that one. But like they were so shocked of him not being for a two-state solution. Yeah. Just thinking of Arab people just not as Arab people. Like just not as the same as someone who's from the state of Israel. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that, you know, I don't think a lot of these governments do the job. But I mean, we have a problem everywhere with all these governments in the world. I mean, whether or not putting that money towards what they need to do. And it comes down to an identity thing of
definitely
us not seeing politicians or police officers or firefighters or anybody who's in a social job that's funded by the government as a human being. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, sorry parents of kids who got shot, tough luck.
Yeah.
But this stuff's going to happen. We are a bunch of monkeys running around with automatic weapons and the internet, toys, everything that could possibly happen. There are so many variables.
Yeah.
And what is it, Murphy's Law?
Anything that can happen.
Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah.
And I just, not that it will, but just have the idea in your head that this stuff could happen.
Yeah.
I like, again, you saying, telling my stories about being some of these people not worried about the liability of going into East Jerusalem and going to these places. And I try to weigh in all those things, be aware of what's happening, what's going on.
That's fantastic. That's
who
so
that person is. I think I attribute that to me being a basketball player, a point guard. I had to always be aware on the court of who I'm passing the ball to. Mm-hmm. Like, is this guy catching the ball? Can I pass it to him here? Who's guarding him right now? Can I squeeze this pass in? This play's happening. The clock's over there. This guy wants me to do this. So I always had to do that. I think that definitely is a great attributing factor to my safety of being in these places.
Yeah.
I've been mugged once, only once.
In South America?
Yeah. Alcohol. And of all places, but Chile. The safer of Peru.
Yeah, that's what I heard,
yeah, kids swiped my phone from me, man.
Oh, man.
Like, I'll give you that story, too. So I'm leaving a club and a bar. Didn't score with any chick. I had a few options.
What city in Chile?
It was in Santiago.
In Santiago? Okay.
And it was like an international party, so a lot of kids from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm walking, and the cab driver was like, where do you want to go? And I was Plaza de Armas. I was in a hostel there. And he's like, no, it's too short of a ride. I was like, dude, I'll pay you double. Like, I just want to go home. I gotta get out of this place. Bad night. No. So I start walking up the street, even though it's towards my hostel. I'm probably not going to get a ride actually walking. Kid walks by. Hey, man, we got time? Really good English. 16, 17. Yeah, sure. Whip it out. Swipes it out of my hands. I chase him down, though.
Were you drunk?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Few steps. I catch him. I tackle him. And I am straddling him and just pulling the Homer Simpson. Hands around the neck. Shaking his shirt. Give me my phone. I just want the photos, man. I'll give you $500 right now. Just don't take the phone.
Yeah.
I thought I see him throw the phone to the side. So I turn away. Two kids come. They throw me off. And now I'm getting kicks from 2 other kids. This kid takes off. I have the kicks. They see he's in safety. They start sprinting with him. I'm chasing these 3 kids down. We're going around a corner and another corner. And it gets to a point, the street lights are getting a little dimmer and darker. Brandon, how deep are we going after these kids? How far are you going? So it just gives me, I stop, hands in the air, screaming as loud as I can. Fuck! 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 I end up going to the police station and making an even bigger fool of myself. Explaining the story, filling out a police report, and I'm telling them, guys, let's fucking go. I know where they are. Get the cars, get the machetes, get the guns. We're gonna fucking kill them. We'll get them, alright? You guys just come with me. They won't. Like, listen, man. Go home. Go to sleep. You're lucky you didn't get stabbed. You're lucky you didn't die. Go home. No, we're still going. You're on the podcast.
Welcome.
You gotta keep them out. Or keep the noise down. That's my little nephew right there. You want to see a wild man right there. This is Hercules.
He's got a future, huh?
In being a primal man, yeah. Dude. This kid's jumping from table to table, up the wazoo, dude. Strong for his age, though. Give him that.
Yeah.
A pretty sweet jump shot. I haven't taught him any basketball yet.
He's got it in his blood.
I think it might be, man. He's got a little more Brandon blood than he wants to. But I think we'll close it from there, man.
Yeah, we can close it.
We got him coming in. We got this happening.
Yeah.
Dude, tell the people where they can find you. Anywhere.
You can find me anywhere on the internet at The Traveling Clat. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Most importantly, that's where I post every week and make videos online of my travels and stuff.
A huge YouTuber. I need to learn a lot from this guy.
Yeah, I got a lot to teach Brandon, and definitely keep your heads up to see some of the stuff we're going to be working on together soon.
I would love to do some collaborations.
Yeah.
Also, let them know about your podcast, because I really like your podcast.
iTunes Store or Podbean, you can check out the Dodo Crossing podcast and just hear me talk about shenanigans with all my friends and travel and whatever really comes to mind.
From one shenanigan to another. It's some good roundtable discussions of this and that. They do a great job, and it's Dodo, D-O-D-O. Don't put one too many O's in there. That would be doo-doo, guys.
That would be the doo-doo crossing, and we don't support those guys.
Not us. And again, guys, you can find me, Brandon Reese 24, on Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, Instagram, Agent Smooth. As far as my blog, thenomadicbusdriver.com, and I also have an Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook page for the Nomadic Bus Driver. Follow up my stories, and interesting, if you like my insight and talks about things I talked about on the podcast, give them a read. Give me a comment. I'd love to connect with you guys, whether it be here on all those pages. So guys, have a great day. Tal, thanks again for coming out. I know the schedule was choppy today.
No, this was great. I appreciate it. This was really fun.
Cheers, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend.